or in there. That is an and. Next, the commissioner shall also be qualified to teach in the school of the highest standing over which the commissioner has authority. Subsection C, the commissioner shall be appointed by the governor. Well, the only thing that she qualified here is arguably A, and subsection C, she was appointed by Governor Bill Lee for a very clear purpose to undermine and destroy public schools in the state of Tennessee by pushing his voucher scam. And as the Chief Executive Officer of the Department of Education, she is the Commissioner of Education. Now, subsection B here is the problem. The commissioner shall be a person of literary and scientific attainments. I have found no literary writings or scientific achievements of record written or performed by Commissioner Reynolds through my search. If I had, it wouldn't matter because she must also be of skill and experience in school administration. She has zero experience in school administration, as you saw from her resume. She has no degree in school administration, and she has never administered any school or system to the best of our knowledge, according to her own resume. Next, the commissioner shall also be qualified to teach in the school of the highest standing over which the commissioner has authority. That arguably refers to high school, over which, since she's over pre-K through 12 education in the state of Tennessee under the statute, she's not qualified to teach. You got some very well-educated individuals sitting next to me, Chairman McKenzie. He's not qualified to teach in the state of Tennessee under Tennessee law. Tennessee, Title 49, Chapter 5 of the Tennessee Code Annotated lays out very clearly what it requires to gain licensure and be permitted to teach in the state of Tennessee. I don't qualify under it. None of these gentlemen qualify under it. And certainly Commissioner Lizzette Reynolds does not qualify under it based on her own resume. I don't, again, shall means shall. There is no vagueness. There is no ambiguity. These are requirements. There's no optional language here. So given that, and I think it was pointed out in a recent article that this is an old law and it's been updated as the most recent in 1970. I know of no governor who's had a problem or an issue filling this role with someone qualified under the statute. Therefore, Commissioner Reynolds is legally unqualified, and she must resign. It's that straightforward. It's that simple. The statute is clear. It's neither vague nor optional. She fails to meet the clear statutory requirements. Again, her undergraduate studies, her various bureaucratic positions, and experience working for school privatization organizations failed to qualify her for any teaching job in Tennessee, much less the role of commissioner. Any attempt by Governor Bill Lee or his administration isn't to argue otherwise, and is an embarrassing reflection of the rampant incompetence that plagues his entire administration. Now I'm happy to hand it off to my good friend, Chairman Sam McKenzie from Knox County, who also serves on the K-12 Education Subcommittee.
Thank you, Chairman. And it's unfortunate that we're here today having this conversation. The fact that this law has stayed on the books without interruption for so long means something. Our education, K through 12, means a lot, and there should be standards. And for those standards to be complied with for all this time, to have we come in about 50 years later having this conversation, again, it's just unfortunate, but it's clear. I spend a lot of time dealing with regulations. I was in environmental safety and health, and shall means shall. There will be a should or may if there's an option. There's not an option here. So if she doesn't resign, I call on the Lee administration to make another choice. There are plenty of qualified people out there to lead this great education system we have. We're trying to get better. We're trying to improve education. We're trying to increase funding. We're trying to raise our test scores. And it means something when leadership is not qualified to serve in the position. So again, this is simple. This is a simple fix. Either she resign or the governor appoints someone else. That's really all it comes down to. But again, the fact that we're here having this conversation, when we're just really dealing with the Washington insider, we don't need that here in Tennessee. We don't need folks that are career politicians and insiders to come and lead our K through 12 children. We're discussing some serious issues here. We're talking about vouching, and to bring someone in like this, to me, just trying to put your foot on the scale to weigh it in a direction of your choosing. So at the end of the day, find someone else, make the call within the next week. This should not drag on. This should happen almost immediately. Read it, look at her qualifications, and then you'll see. And I'll end with the fact that she's currently in a degree program for education says something. That says something to us. You can make it out to whatever you want, but to me it says you're not qualified and you're trying to do a last ditch effort to get your qualification. It just doesn't cut the mustard. So thank you.
All right, it's pretty straightforward. Like I said, anybody have any questions?
Have you raised these concerns to the commissioner herself?
No, we haven't. I haven't had the opportunity to see her, or she hasn't come to my office or introduced herself to me, and I don't serve on any of the committees before which she has testified to date, so I've not had that opportunity.
And I'll answer. I had a meeting set up with her for last week, but as you know, we canceled our session. She was coming by my office on last week where we're trying to reschedule. But at the end of the day, that's a conversation I'd be glad to have with her, and I'd be glad to listen to see how she can argue against the rules.
I just also want to take the opportunity to recognize our friend Ronnie Glenn, Representative Ronnie Glenn from Montgomery County is here with us today.
You mentioned the program that she's enrolled in. Is it potentially a conflict of interest for her to be overseeing a program that she's enrolled in?
I wouldn't say so because she's K through 12. I would say that's a higher ed program. I know the commissioning of the education department, but I wouldn't see that. I mean, I encourage folks to continue their education, but you can't get the job before you get your qualification.
And then just as a follow-up, does any of this have anything to do with her performance at the Senate committee last week, or is this separate from that?
Well, that certainly raised a lot of eyebrows and certainly gave us the only data on which we should be basing, or some of the data on which we should be basing a decision on this voucher scam legislation that's going to be introduced. It pretty much showed, and she testified to the fact that, there is no improvement in educational outcomes for students partaking in the current vouchers. I think it just reflected on her lack of qualification for the office, I think.
Commissioner, go ahead. Go, you got it, Chris. Commissioner Reynolds has been in office for 6 months, so why now? And were any of these concerns brought up when she first went into office?
Well, I haven't brought them up until now. Of course, we got a lot going on, but a lot of the reports, and it kind of shed some light on it. We kind of take for granted that people are going to do the right thing. I certainly would have expected the governor to appoint somebody who's actually qualified for the job and fit the statutory requirement. But based on recent reporting, it made us take a closer look at her actual background, and it uncovered the truth. She is legally unqualified to hold this position in the state of Tennessee. She might be qualified in some other state, but look, like Chairman McKenzie said, surely, Governor Bill Lee, I know of, there's hundreds, thousands of qualified people in the state of Tennessee, Tennesseans who are familiar with the public education system in Tennessee, who are qualified to teach in this state, who have experience in school administration, who are statutorily qualified for this job, would be statutorily qualified for this job. Why go outside the state, pick a DC bureaucrat, somebody whose only professional work experience is in undermining public education, and who's not even statutorily qualified? That raised a lot of alarms, and I would encourage him to replace it with somebody from Tennessee.
You know what? I like to piggyback on to that. You know, when I go to my doctor, I see qualifications. But what I'm really hoping is that the physician's office and the hospital that they vetted this person that's going to be examining me. I'm not asking for it to see his or her paperwork every time I go and get an exam. So to me, when you're talking about the commissioner of education for the state of Tennessee, I would not have to. I wouldn't have to expect to go and vet and view his or her resume. But unfortunately, here we are.
What's your confidence level that she will follow the urge here, or the governor will even make a move?
What was the first part of the
What's the confidence level? Is there any sort of indication that the governor would make such a choice?
Well, I don't think he has an option. She is legally unqualified to hold the position. I would hate for somebody to have to go through the judicial process or raise some sort of claim, and waste the resources of the state of Tennessee on something that's so obvious. The argument I just made right here in 5 minutes would result in an immediate decision that she's unqualified legally. So, look, I've given up on expecting this governor to do the right thing in any respect, but he really doesn't have an option.
Weren't there some questions raised about 20 years ago or so, maybe less than that, about John Morgan becoming the education commissioner?
Yeah, I read that I was a much younger man then, Sam. I don't remember that. I think that
Yeah, it was
I saw
Board of Regents.
Oh,
Board of
Board of
Regents.
Board of
Yeah,
Regents.
that sounds right. I think Andy read that article and pointed that out. But look, if we're going to judge ourselves on past administrations, I think we're going down the wrong tunnel. I mean, we're expected to lead and hire qualified individuals to do the job. I don't think we want to look in the past couple hundred years of Tennessee history to base our decisions of today.
Is there any type of mechanism in Tennessee for impeaching a commissioner or anything like that?
No, not that I've been able to find it. I don't know that there is one. I mean, I think, the legal argument is certainly there. I don't even know if someone would take that to court or try that route. Look, at the end of the day, you expect the governor to do the right thing, right? There's not a shortage of qualified people for this job. So what's the problem? Did he talk to all the qualified people and they don't want to work for his administration? Because people actually care about public education, refuse to work for this governor? I don't know. I don't know what the process was, but whatever it is, he needs to restart it and find someone new who's actually legally qualified.
Some of the concerns with Commissioner Reynolds has been her background with Excel and Ed. Have you guys seen or noticed a greater Excel and Ed presence since she's started in Tennessee?
Well, I'll speak. I've gone to the Excel and Ed conference because I want to hear what they're talking about. But this, again, started by former Governor of Florida, Jeb Bush, and it is. I mean, there's no arguing. They're a pro-charter, pro-voucher type of entity. But in terms of more presence, we've been pushing charter schools, and I say we, the past General Assemblies, and expansion of this voucher for several years. So I wouldn't say there's necessarily an increase in it. We are expanding again, but I don't know if it's a direct link with her. But this governor hasn't been quiet about wanting to basically undermine our public school systems through increased charters and now through these vouchers.
Yeah, I would just add, this is my 10th year in the state legislature, and during this decade, I have seen under Governor Haslam and lead this increased privatization model, steering public taxpayers' dollars into private entities' hands through the public education system and funneling it out into these entities to the detriment of our public schools. So, that's been ongoing. So to ask whether or not, I mean, it's almost like Spinal Tap. He may be trying to turn the knob up to 11 with her and this new voucher scam, and he very well may do so. But look, it's more of the same from this administration. Anybody else? Appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.